There you go. Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU, thank you so much for coming in and watching us. Today is, of course, Saturn's Day, aka Saturday, April 18th, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 310. St. Elizabeth began his reign as Catholic Pope. Okay, I guess today's a Pope Day. 387, Bishop Ambrose, no, that's from another source. I forgot, that's a tilde. Never mind. 796, King Yesteryear I of Northumbria was murdered in Corabridge by a group led by his ealdormen, Ealdred and Wada. The partition, Osbald was crowned but abdicated within 27 days. So that didn't last long. 1025, Boleslaw I the Brave was crowned in Gniezno, becoming the first king of Poland.
Ooh.
All right. 4028, Peace of Ferrara between Republic of Venice, Duchy of Milan, Republic of Florence, and House of Gonzaga, ending the second campaign in the Wars of Lombardy, fought until the Treaty of Lodi in 1454. Keep in mind, this is in 1428, so this war, 1450, so yeah, which will then guarantee the conditions for the development of the Italian Renaissance.
Oh.
Wow. That's important. 1506, the cornerstone of the current St. Peter's Basilica was laid in the Vatican by Pope Julius II. It's telling me to image search this really quick, and there's the picture here of the basilica. It's the same picture that looks like I got unintentionally, but it looks like I have something to read maybe here, or I guess not. Maybe I just wanted to showcase this image or something. Because
1500, the cornerstone was laid.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
1506,
Yeah, 1506. Yep.
Yeesh.
Yeah, the cornerstone for the current basilica, not the old one.
Yeah.
So, 1521 died
Modern
of
day.
Yes, 1521 died of worms. Cardinal Alexander questioned Martin Luther. Okay, well it says here from the other source, during the trial of Martin Luther, it began its second day during the assembly of the Diet of Worms. He refused to recant his teachings despite the risk of excommunication. So, he firmly believed that. That he was right in the face of the Pope,
Yeah.
59.3, William Shakespeare's poem Venus and Adonis was registered for publication, becoming his first work to be printed and his most famous work during his lifetime.
Whoa.
During his lifetime. So, as with many other people, he wasn't really appreciated until after his death. It really...
Yeah, that happened so many times.
Yeah. 68...
Artists and writers.
Yeah. I kind of have a feeling that in my own little way, I'm going to kind of end up like that as well. After I'm dead, people are going to find all these shows and be like, oh, look at all this,
Maybe.
1688, Germantown Quaker petition against slavery. Francis Daniel Pastorius presented his first formal written protest, or I guess the first formal written protest, against black slavery in English colonies in Germantown, Pennsylvania. So all the way back in 1688, we have documentation of people trying to free the blacks. So, 1738, Real Academia de la Historia, Royal Academy of History, was founded in Madrid. 1775, this is big. Paul Revere warned Samuel Adams and John Hancock that British troops are marching from Boston to Lexington. So Paul Revere met with Samuel Adams and John Hancock in Lexington, Massachusetts, and warned them that the British troops are marching, from that same
British
thing.
British are coming.
From the other source, the British advancement by sea begins. One if by land, two by sea. Yeah. Paul Revere and other writers warned the countryside of the troop movements. The British Army advanced up the Charles River in Massachusetts to destroy supplies of American militias, where Paul Revere and others were rapidly warning the countryside. He said, the regulars are coming. Paul Revere, William Dawes, and Samuel Prescott, among many others, rode from Charleston to Lexington warning people. For whatever reason, Paul Revere gets the credit, but it was dozens of people. He can't go and warn everybody. So,
right.
But for whatever reason, he's a name everybody ties to that event.
True.
So, 1783, during the American Revolution, George Washington issued general orders announcing the end of hostilities with Britain, giving thanks to the Almighty, and offering congratulations and authorizing an extra ration of alcohol to the troops to celebrate. All right.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. We have the British are coming to, we win. On the same day, just
same day,
8 years apart.
A little bit separated, but same day is what's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's things like that gives credence to theories that states a lot of history is straight up a lie, because so many things that we have covered fall on the same
Yeah.
calendar date. You know, like
Years later.
it almost seems like a machine made it or something. You know. 1783, the Three-Fifths Compromise, the first instance of black slaves in the U.S. being counted as 3/5 of a person for the purpose of taxation. In the resolution of the Congress of the Confederation, this was later adopted in the 1787 Constitution. I was telling you to image search this. So, let's see here. Image search. Three-Fifths Compromise. Oh yes. So I want to read this. Created by James Wilson with the help of Roger Sherman, each slave would count as 3/5 of a person in the population of a state. Every 5 slaves counted as 3 people. This counting of slaves also went toward property taxing purposes. So it was nothing to do about, like they're slaves, so they're already belittled.
Yeah.
But this was purely about taxes, because what people don't understand is, like, it's very easy today to look back at the past and snub our nose, be like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
But back in the day, blacks were viewed as farm equipment.
Yeah.
That's just how it was. It's disgusting by today's standards, but that's just how things were. You know?
I thought the 3/5 was about voting power.
No. It was
And,
about property.
Yeah,
Property taxes.
obviously.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. I always thought they were tried to pass this. They're not human. They're only 3/5 human. Therefore, they
Yeah,
can't
no, it
vote.
had nothing to do with voting.
Yeah.
Like, this was
Okay.
well before. I mean,
That's
this is
really important
1783.
to learn that. I
Yeah.
was so wrong.
Well, no, like, I used to think the same thing, and I was taught that, and that's why I say, like, history is straight up a lie for a lot of parts. You know, like, that's why I say all the time, don't listen to anything I say, just use me as a stepping stone to your own path of self-education. Because personally, I believe that 90% of everything I say is bullshit. Because history is all a lie.
Well, it's part of the indoctrination process.
Exactly. Moving on up to 1797, France and Austria signed a ceasefire. Okay, that sounds like whatever. The other source, though, it says War of the First Coalition. The Peace of Leoben was signed by Napoleon Bonaparte and Maximilian, Count of Marillac, creating an armistice between France and Austria, setting the stage for the Treaty of Campo Formio and ending the War of the First Coalition. So that's a lot more substantial.
Yeah.
1809, first run of 2,000 guineas horse race at Newmarket, England. I looked this up, and I think that's a species of horse, the Guineas horse. So they had 2,000 horses or something
I thought
running.
Guinea was money.
I thought Guinea was a pig, and New Guinea is a country. So, but like right here, 2,000 Guinness Stakes is a Group 1 flat race in Great Britain, open to 3-year-old thoroughbred colts and fillies. So it looks like they race en masse, according to the picture. So what, did they have 2,000 horses just out there running at once? Like, that's wild. So, you know, I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna add this in the underbar section. So if anybody wants to see this, you know, or expand their self-education, as I like to say, this link and any other link that we collected will be in the underbar, the description section below after the live stream. Moving on up, 1831, the University of Alabama was founded in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Tuscaloosa, yeah.
Tuscaloosa. 1845, whaling ship the Manhattan, captained by Mercator Cooper, was the first ship officially permitted to visit Edo, Japan, before it was renamed to Tokyo, in 220 years, rescuing shipwrecked sailors. So they only opened their doors to the white man when we have, you know, their own people that got rescued. So, 1847, American victory at the Battle of Cerro Gordo, a U.S. victory actually, because, you know, America, you know, as I say, you know, Mexico is part of America, so how can be in a victory if half of the people are also American? So a United States victory.
American against American.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that be a civil war then? U.S. victory at the Battle of Cerro Gordo opened the way for invasion of Mexico. And we spoke about Cerro Gordo. Remember we went to the to that mission?
Yeah.
And it was talking about Cerro Gordo and all that stuff? That's it. Here it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we eventually invaded Mexico, and then the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo at least got us California. So, and all that area. 1857, The Spirits Book by Allan Kardec was published, marking the birth of spiritualism in France. And you're a spiritualist. You know, I'm a spiritualist. So, 1861, Colonel Robert E. Lee turned down offer to command Union armies during the U.S. Civil War. So he was a colonel for the Union, and then he turned that down because he Robert E. Lee is I would compare him, or I guess I would compare the other guy to Robert E. Lee, but what's his face? Count Dooku. Like, he was like a fallen Jedi or type of thing, but like, Robert E. Lee, he didn't really support the policies and the belief of the Confederacy, but he only fought with them because he was fighting for his home state of Virginia, which had so happened to join the Confederacy.
Yeah.
Robert E. Lee was not really a bad guy, even though he owned a plantation and most likely owned slaves. But George Washington owned slaves. Like, everybody owned slaves back in those times.
But he ended up being a great general.
Yeah, he almost won the war for the Confederacy.
Yeah.
So, 1864, Battle of Diebold. Denmark was defeated by Prussian and Austrian forces storming Diebold Fort in the deciding battle of the Second Schillig War. Okay. And Denmark surrendered the province in the following peace settlement. Okay. 1864, Battle of Poison Springs, Arkansas, during the Camden Expedition. Poison Springs. I wouldn't want to live there. Don't drink the water. Mexico by any other names. 1865, Confederate General Joseph E. Johnson surrendered to General William T. Sherman in North Carolina. All right. Good old Sherman. 1868, Confederate, we got that one? 1868, yeah, I was right here. San Francisco Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals formed in San Francisco, California. So almost like the ASPCA or something like that, but just for San Fran.
Sounds like San Francisco.
Yeah, well, we're going to be talking about San Francisco again in a very bad way later on in 1906, if that year tips you off in any way. 1869, first international cricket match held in San Francisco. This is not what I was talking about, but hey, San Francisco again. Won by California. Okay. It's telling me image searches. So yeah, but this is the first international cricket match. So this is the first time it came here. So now cricket's been polluting us since 1869. It says here, the first ever international cricket game was between the U.S. and Canada. Hey, your guys. In 1844. Wow, wait, that's way before this. 69.
Yeah.
The match was played on the grounds of St. George's Cricket Club in New York. Okay, so...
That's a whole different article.
Yeah, so this is not...
San Francisco.
No, but this says the first international cricket match. But this says the first international cricket match.
Someone's wrong.
Well, obviously these guys are, because this is in 1844. So...
If they have the date right.
Well, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. One's wrong.
One's wrong. So, it just says incorrect. 1844, U.S.,
York.
Canada, New York. Okay, that's good for there. Moving on up to 1876, so 1874, David Livingstone, African explorer, was buried in Westminster Abbey. We spoke about that yesterday, about his body returning. 1876, Daniel O'Leary completed a 500-mile walk in 139 hours and 32 minutes. I'm not sure if I can do that. 500 miles.
Wow,
And I will walk.
I wonder what your speed is at 139 hours.
I'm sure it's calculable, but in no timely manner.
No.
1879, trial of Standing Bear Crook on Indian citizen rights began. Native American citizenship rights. So, which they deserve every single right, if not more, than anybody else.
Yeah.
At least out here. 1880, an F4 tornado struck Marshfield, Missouri, killing 99 people and injuring another 100. 1881, Natural History Museum opened in South Kensington, England. Cool. 1890, New York Commission of Emigration ended. Now, the difference between immigration and emigration, one being I, one being E. Yeah. Immigration is when people are coming in with an I. Yeah. Emigration with an E is when they're going out.
Yeah.
So the Commission of Emigration ended, closing Castle Garden, New York City, now known as Castle Clinton. Huh. That's a little interesting title. 1899, John McGraw, at the age of 26, had his managerial dispute as Oriole manager. Debut, not dispute.
Oh,
so debut. Okay. Yeah, I just my words got slurred. So, but yeah, at 26, he's a manager. That's pretty young there.
Yeah, very young.
1899, the St. Andrews Ambulance Association was granted a royal charter by Queen Victoria. Oh, here's the Battle of Cerro Gordo. That image right there. And here's the ambulance. So look at that. St. Anthony's Ambulance Association.
A true Woody.
Well before Woody. That's
I bet you that's all wood panels. Anything.
I don't. Well, maybe painted. Yeah, back in that time. 1890. 1902. The 7.5 MW Guatemala earthquake shook Guatemala with a maximum Mercalli intensity of 7, severe, killing between 800 and 2,000. It's a lot. 1906, the San Francisco earthquake and fire killed nearly 4,000 while destroying 75% of the city. And the reason why there is so much devastation is because a lot of the city was built on, like, built land. Like, they built into the harbor and everything. And since then, instead of learning from their mistakes, they just, like, they pushed all the rubble, all the dead bodies, all the stuff, and just rebuilt it all. So if you're along the waterline in San Francisco, especially in areas that, you know, were historically devastated by this earthquake, there's a very high chance that there's dead bodies under your feet. You know, crazy.
In a recent earthquake, obviously since I was alive, there, and a lot of them, the buildings sunk and everything or whatever, they crumbled.
Liquefaction.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what you were going.
That is what I'm going with.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was reclaimed territory, it's not legit soil. Yeah. So the earthquake, you know, between that and the water, it just liquefies it. So that's why there's a lot of dead, and they just used all of that devastation, rebuilt it, and then built on top of it. So, you know, a lot of dead bodies from that earthquake are still under there, you know, unaccounted for. The other source though says it was 3,000 people dead, making one of the worst natural disasters in U.S. history. It's telling me the image search this.
The destruction came from fire.
Yeah, well, yeah, fire, because, like, all the broken gas mains and all the broken water mains, now nobody can pump. So, like, I just wanted to showcase some of the images of the fire, you know. Yeah. So, just absolutely devastating. You know, like, look at that. Just gone. Like, the entire neighborhood. Look at all the fires. Look at the hills. Like, all the fire, all of that. Up in the hills over there. Yeah. Just, wow. What else do we got here? 1906, the Los Angeles Times story on the Azusa Street revival launched Pentecostalism as a worldwide religious movement. I've never heard of that. Ah, what is that? Like, it's a type of religion, but, like, is it derived from anything, or?
It's a belief. You know, it's the writings or something, right?
Also known as mainline or classical, this word is a movement within the evangelical wing of Protestant Christianity that emphasizes direct personal experience of God through baptism with the Holy Spirit.
Taking it literally.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. The term Pentecostal is derived from Pentecost, an event that commemorates the descent of the Holy Spirit upon the apostles and other followers of Jesus while they were in Jerusalem celebrating the Feast of Weeks as described in the Acts of the Apostles, Acts 2, 1 through 31. So if you want to read up more on this Pentecostal, how do you pronounce it?
Well, that was a Pentecostal.
Pentecostalism. All right. I'm going to add this in the underbar section. Moving on up, 1909, the Joan of Arc received beatification by the Roman Catholic Church at St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. So she is now a saint. Congratulations, Joan of Arc. 1912, Cunard liner RMS Carpathia brought 705 survivors from the RMS Titanic to New York City. Now, I looked this up, and it looked like there is wreckage. So I'm wondering if this ship sank. So, completed, maiden voyage, out of service. No, it was out of service. Oh, fate, torpedoed and sunk on July 17th, 1918, World War I.
Ah.
So the Carpathia itself got sunk too. That's a tragedy. So the savior of Titanic ended up getting shot and killed. That's awful.
Shot and sunk.
Well, killed, sunk, whatever, you know. Yeah. 1916, Edith Wharton was appointed Chevalier of the Legion of Honor, France's highest award, for her contribution to the war effort. I wonder what she did. Edith Wharton, novelist. Okay. But how did she contribute to the war effort? Well, it's not telling me anything here. She's from a wealthy family, yada yada. She defied sometimes subtly, another time to become an important writer. Her works often drew on her experience of high society, which she used to create convincing portrayals of New York's aristocracy during the Gilded Age. But it's not telling me anything about the war effort.
I think that'd be really important in her bio.
Yeah, especially since she won such a prestigious award for that. 1916 as well, U.S. Secretary of State warned Germany that the USA may break diplomatic relations unless torpedo attacks on unarmed ships stop, which they did not.
They did not.
But that's only because the enemy knew that we were supplying one side of the war.
Yeah.
You know, we had it coming. The White War
war.
Yeah. White War on the Italian front, World War I. During a mine warfare in high altitude on the Dolomites, the Italian troops conquered the Col di Lana held by the Austrian army. Mine warfare? Like, what is that? Like, are they throwing mines at each other? Or are they, like, just laying landmines? And
It seems like that to me. They'd be planning them, laying them, whatever you call it.
yeah, but mine warfare. It just says naval mine. Okay, well.
Oh, that'd be in the water.
Yeah, but this is high altitude. There is no water in altitude. Like, well, I mean,
No, until I saw that. That's what.
Yeah. Well, I looked up mine warfare and it brought up sea mines. So, anyway, but like, I want to go back to the whole thing about, you know, like, it's war. What's one of the most common phrases about war?
I have no idea.
All is fair in love and war.
Yeah.
Okay. 1917, the 2nd Italian Corps in France left from Italy to the Western Front. It will distinguish itself during the 3rd Battle of Aisne and the 2nd Battle of the Marne, in Beligny and on the sector Kurmras, Bois du Petit Champ, where it will considerably contribute to stop the German offensive on Efharni, aimed to outflank Rheims. It's a lot of areas I have no clue about, but that sounds substantial there. 1918, the People's Council of Latvia proclaimed the independence of the new country of Latvia. That makes sense.
1918.
Yeah, Latvia. Isn't that one of the Baltic states?
Yeah.
Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, right?
Right. Very good.
23, 74,000, 62,281 of which were paid on hand for opening of Yankee Stadium.
Oh.
So they paid people to be there. That's shady.
God, I thought it would have been older than that in 1923.
Huh. 23 as well. Poland annexed central Lithuania. What are they doing? What are you doing, Poland? The war's over. It's the Roaring 20s. Why are you annexing Lithuania? That's weird. Central Lithuania. Strange. 24.
Well, it could have been mutual.
Maybe.
They wanted to be annexed.
Maybe. 1924, the first crossword puzzle book was published by Simon and Solster. I remember Grandma was always on the crossword at the newspaper.
Yeah,
she loved those. That's a great way, though, to exercise your brain,
Keep
you know?
going, yeah.
And you need a huge vocabulary to know a lot of these words, because they really test you.
Yeah.
So, 25, the World's Fair opened in Chicago. It's telling me to image search this, but before I do, I have this image. This is what it looked like. And this is what, you know, why I always talk about the mud flood, the global reset, the Tartarian Empire, all that stuff. All of this, they say, was built within 12 to 18 months, and it was all meant to be temporary. You're going to build all of that fast and have it be temporary. That's bullshit. That's just what they say, so that way they can get away with knocking down all the stuff from the old civilization, rewrite history, reset society, wipe everything, and then start anew.
I may be mistaken. Memory serves me correct, but I seem to remember your mom talking about your grandmother going to the Chicago World's Fair as a kid.
I would have loved to go. That sounds awesome. And this image here, like, it was between that one I showed you and this, it was one of these two for the thumbnail.
Ah.
And Creative actually helped me decide. I was already leaning towards this image here.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, he picked that one. I was leaning to that one, but I was also looking at this one.
That one's cool too.
Yeah, that's why it was difficult. But for me,
I like that one with the people in front of it. That one's more awesome, but I like the people.
Now, the reason why I like this one a little bit more, not only does it, like, because they both look awesome, but this one was slightly bigger.
Yeah, it's more dramatic.
Well, no, physically.
Structurally.
Yeah, but no, physically, like, look at the border here. You see where the image ends there?
Yeah.
And then you see how it's smaller? So it's physically larger of an image.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Just, you know, so that's why I was leading that one. But as I said, Creative did the final decision on that one. 1 century ago, 1926, Rhein Stadium opened in Dusseldorf, Germany. Dusseldorf. That almost sounds like an insult. Oh, you Dusseldorf, you know. 27, nationalist leader Chiang Kai-shek formed an anti-government in China. So this is after the commies had taken over. So Chiang Kai-shek, you know, the true leader of real China, you know, but they got chased out to Taiwan.
Yeah.
So we also have 29. The Palace for People's Industry in Amsterdam was devastated by a fire. It's telling me to look that up. Reset. You know, like, is this another part of the reset? You know, like also so many fires, so many things. Like, you know, like, here you go. Like, look at this building. Does this not look of the same architecture, you know, as that World's Fair that I was talking about?
A little bit.
Well, that's why I say, like, the theory goes is that these are left over from a previous empire, like a global empire, the Tartarian Empire, but they were like undermined, they were overthrown, and then they got erased from history. And within like a 150, 200 period time, around the entire world, every major city had massive fires that destroyed all these buildings, got rid of records, and all sorts of things. It's an interesting theory to look up, you know, and like, you know, now it's gone. You know, they got rid of it, and, you know, they bury things. So, you know, like, look into the mud flood theory out there, guys. So, 1930, attempted raid on the armory of police and auxiliary forces in Chittagong in Bengal province, British India, by armed pro-independence revolutionaries led by Surya Sen, popularly known as Master Da. So this is when they were, you know, trying to get their own independence. They were still under the oppressive rule of the British regime. We also have BBC News announcer announced there is no news at 20:45 news bulletin, played music instead. So they turned into a radio station. That's interesting. There's no news in their evening report. There's actually an image of this. Let's see here if I can find it. Yeah, right here. The announcer simply said there is no news and then played piano music for the rest of the 15-minute broadcast. Like,
Weird.
Okay. Well, I mean, what else are you going to do? You got to soak up the airtime somehow. 1930 as well, a fire killed 118 people at a wooden church in the small Romanian town of Kosesti, most of them school children, after starting during Good Friday services. Oh, heavens. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, at least they got to see Jesus on the anniversary of his death, you know. That's, you know, there's always a silver lining to every black cloud. You just got to look for it. 34, CA Tennille opened the first U.S. washateria, a laundromat, in Fort Worth, Tejas, for electric washing machines available for hourly rental. No dryers were available, though. So, you know, but back in those days, like, you just hung your wet clothes up on a clothesline or something. Which reminds me, this is hilarious. So, there is a guy who is selling solar-paneled dryers on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, and he was selling them for like, you know, $100 or something. So obviously that's incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
So people were buying them, and then guess what they got in their delivery?
What?
A clothesline. It's a solar powered dryer. He's not false advertising.
Yeah.
Consumers are just fucking retarded, you know. So that's what you get for trying to be savvy, you know? So, but there's an image here. I think I can read this. Here we go. Open image in new tab. And there we go. Here's the world's first washateria where families can go do the weekly washing with the latest facilities for a small sum. A new idea promptly put to work has resulted in a fast-growing business for Mr. C.A. Tennille at Fort Worth, Texas. He decided women who did not have room for a modern laundry in their home would be glad to pay to do their own washing in a place that did. He established the world's first washateria and found he was right. You know, so laundromats. Happy birthday. 1936, Pan Am Clipper began regular passenger flights from San Francisco to Honolulu, Hawaii. That's cool. 38, headless mad busher victim found in Cleveland. So I guess the victim was headless. That's yikes. 38, Superman first appeared in DC Comics Action Comics series issue number 1. Cover dated was June 1938. And we covered this. Like we've covered this like 3 times in 3 different shows. So there's obviously discrepancy going on. But at least here now it says that. 1939, Robert Menzies, who became Australia's longest-serving Prime Minister, was elected as leader of the United Australia Party after the death of Prime Minister Joseph Lyons.
How long did he serve, though? They don't tell us.
That is a good question. Robert Menzies. How long did serve? Let's see here. Robert Menzies, 1949 to 1966. So that's 17 years. Wow. That's a long tenure.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, more than a tenure. 42, Stars and Stripes paper for the U.S. Armed Forces started. So now the military, you know, has their own newspaper.
Today.
Heavily propagandized, most likely. 42 as well, the Stanley Cup Final, Maple Leaf Gardens, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Toronto Maple Leafs defeated Detroit Red Wings 3-1 for a 4-3 series win. Toronto recovered after losing the first 3 games.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's why he's in here. 42 as well, the Doolittle Raid.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is very interesting because 1 year after this, this is why I say, it's very interesting. So just pay attention. So the Doolittle Raid, 1942, James Doolittle led the first air raid on mainland Japan, bombing Tokyo and other Japanese cities in response to the Pearl Harbor. They covered that Pearl Harbor movie, the more recent one, and everything. Tokyo, Yokohama, Kobe, and Nagoya were bombed. 43, Operation Vengeance. U.S. Army Air Force P-38G fighter aircraft from Kukum Field on Guadalcanal ambushed and shot down the transport bomber aircraft of Isoroku Yamamoto, Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Japanese Navy and mastermind behind the Pearl Harbor attack. So, on the same calendar date, 2 years apart, we have the Doolittle Raid, which is a response to Pearl Harbor, and then exactly 1 year later, we killed the motherfucker who did it.
Yeah.
That's a little strange, don't you think?
Very.
Almost as if somebody's writing it out of their imagination. Like, a little weird. 45, the first armed outfielder, or one-armed outfielder, not the first armed. He's firing bullets. St. Louis Brown Pete Gray was first game. He went 1 for 4, so he was a one-armed outfielder. So missing an arm.
Yeah.
So. 45, clandestine radio 1212 after broadcasting pro-Nazi propaganda for months using their influence to trap 350,000 German Army B or Group B troops. Okay, that's written weirdly. 45 as well, diplomatic relations between the Soviet Union and Bolivia were established. Okay. 45 as well, Italian resistance movement in Turin, despite the harsh repressive measures adopted by Nazi fascists, a great pre-insurrectional strike began. 1 year later, we have Loons Time. International Court of Justice opened at The Hague in Netherlands. They held their inaugural meeting there. 46 as well, Jackie Robinson debuted as the second baseman for the Montreal Royals. So from the other source, it says the minor league affiliate of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
Okay. And he made his regular season debut for the Montreal Royals of the International League to make them the first integrated modern professional baseball team. Yeah. Congratulations.
And then he was the first in the majors too.
Yep.
That's what he's known for.
So he broke the color barrier twice.
Yeah.
It's awesome. 46 as well. We got that one. Yeah. League of Nations dissolved 3 months after the United Nations started. So
yeah.
Yep. 46 as well. U.S. recognized Tito's Yugoslavia government. Wasn't he a horrible person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A dictator.
Yep. 47. New Orleans, a stadium musical romance film premiered. Louis Armstrong and Billie Holiday, in her only feature film, played supporting roles. And we also have Operation Big Bang, the largest non-nuclear man-made explosion to that time, destroyed bunkers and military installations on the North Sea island of Heliograd, Germany. And so, I guess...
49, what's that about? 47.
47.
Yeah.
Well, this was after the war, but
yeah.
I seem to remember, because I remember I saw something about there's abandoned German works during the war they had to go underground because we were kicking their ass eventually, and to test our munitions as well as their building techniques, we bombed the hell out of their abandoned facilities and all that stuff. And we learned how to make better munitions, but we also learned how to make better defenses as well. So I want to, we'll get to that one here in a minute. I want to show the actual image. I was thinking about putting it in the thumbnail, but I try to avoid black and white, so that way the thumbnail doesn't look so drab.
Yeah.
But look at the size of that. That's a huge explosion. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
And that's non-nuclear. It's crazy. And we're just testing out. That's just the devastation and all that stuff. So, what else do we got here? 1949, the Republic of Ireland withdrew from the British Commonwealth. The Republic of Ireland Act came into effect, declaring Erie to be a republic and severing Ireland's association with the Commonwealth of Nations. Just free Ireland, 50, we have the first opening night game. Cardinals defeated Pirates 4-2. Okay. 50, Polish Catholic Church and government signed an accord over relations. That seems kind of interesting there. So, 50 as well. Yankees won 15-10 after trailing Red Sox 9-0 in the 6th.
Wow.
That's a heck of a comeback right there. 51 in France, West Germany, and Benelux formed a European steel and coal community. All right. 3 years later, Egyptian Colonel Gemal Abdel Nasser seized power and appointed himself prime minister. Yep. Yeah, Nasser, not a good guy, from what I hear. Right? This guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like a dictator as well?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean,
not friendly to us.
He certainly took power like a dictator.
Yeah. He aligned with Russia.
1955, we have the first walk, don't walk, lighted street signals were installed. You know, so to cross the street.
Yeah.
So I was also thinking about adding this in the thumbnail as well. This one here specifically, but just because of its format, only this middle section would probably be seen. So, like, you know, the walk, don't walk section probably wouldn't be seen if I had rounded it into the thumbnail collage maker. So, but that's why I leave, you know, my little notes here, image search this. So, you know, that's the oldest picture I can find of that.
I wonder if that's Chicago or New York.
You know, that is a good question. Like, where were they installed? Like, Black Wax Cafe, April 18th, 1955. Okay, the date. Oh, it's Facebook. Oh, that's the same picture. New York City. There you go.
Yeah.
But then again, this is Facebook, so it's probably like complete lies. 1955, first Bandung Conference opened in Indonesia, attended by 29 nations. First International Assembly of Asian African Nations. Wow. So Asian and African, well, Asian African. So is there Asia Africa? Like
Eurasia.
Well, that's Eura.
I know. I'm trying to put something together.
Huh. Yeah, it says here the other source, 29 nations met at Bandung, Indonesia for the first Asian African conference. So I guess it's Asian African nations, not an Asian African nation.
Yeah,
so.
right.
56, Egypt and Israel agreed to a ceasefire. All right.
That's huge.
Well, you know, who fired again first? You know, who instigates? So 58, the United States federal court ruled that poet Ezra Pound was to be released from an insane asylum. I remember that name, Ezra Pound. Oh, it's a guy. Okay. Ezra, is it? Oh, he has a beard. But then again, that doesn't mean anything anymore today. So, during the Second World War, he worked as a radio broadcaster for the Italian government. When Italy fell, he was imprisoned before being brought back to the U.S. But why was he... He spent 12 years in St. Elizabeth's Psychiatric Hospital. He was released after pressure from a campaign by fellow writers, subsequently living in Italy for the rest of his life. So he was brought over here, and then we put him in a psychiatric ward for 12 years, and then he went back home. Wow. That poor guy.
Pretty rough go.
Yeah, that's terrible. 58, National League single game record crowd of 78,682 people as the Los Angeles Dodgers won their first ever home game over the San Francisco Giants 6-5 at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.
Yeah, that's where they played baseball before Dodger Stadium.
You
know the Coliseum.
Yes, I've been there.
Yeah.
Isn't that where we saw like the balloon guy or the bubble thing or whatever? You know what I'm talking about, right? Where you got into the bubble and everything?
No,
that was wild.
That was at the college over there.
Okay. 61, CONCP was founded in Casablanca as a united front of African movements opposing Portuguese colonial rule. I agree with that. 63, Dr. James Campbell performed the first human nerve transplant. Wow. Like, I can feel that.
Yeah.
Nerve transplant. I feel I'm making a joke. Maybe getting on your nerves with it. 1964, LA Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax struck out on the side of 9 pitches for Major League best third time of his career. Dang. We also had Bill Russell became the first black stadium coach in NBA history. Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
All right. 68, 178,000 employees of U.S. Bell telephone system went on strike. Why? For how long? Like, I'd like to know. Like, pay dispute, hours, like, something. We also have the London Bridge was sold to U.S. Oil Company to be erected in Arizona. And they thought that they were buying the Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And this is now in Arizona. So, and what's interesting, they moved it brick by brick and all that stuff. It was crazy.
Piece by piece.
Yeah.
They just didn't get the bridge they thought they were getting.
Yeah. 1968, San Francisco's Old Hall of Justice was demolished. I wonder why. 72, the the Widgery report on Bloody Sunday in Northern Ireland was published, causing outrage among the people of Derry, who called it the Widgery whitewash.
Wow.
Widgery whitewash. That's a weird word. So, let's see. Widgery whitewash. Okay, well, I have it BBC News. The day after the army shot dead 13 protesters in Londonderry, the Home Secretary, Reginald Maulding, announced there would be an inquiry and appointed the Lord Chief Justice, Lord Widgery, to lead it. Okay, so it's named after this guy.
Yeah.
You know, all of this would go away if you just stopped fucking oppressing Ireland. And God, what's so difficult? U.S. government ended mandatory oil import program established in 1959 by President Eisenhower. 74.
Mandatory? What the heck is that?
Well, you know, forcing oil to come here rather than us, like, because you see, right now with the whole Strait of Hormuz thing and all that stuff, we're selling our oil internationally, but like we're just eating into our own supply. Like I thought the play was let the rest of the world dry itself out, and then we're the only nation with oil, and then we'll win every war. You know, I don't know. 1974, the Red Brigade kidnapped Italian Attorney General Mario Sosi. That's not good. You know, that's a high political power position, Italian Attorney General.
Yeah, very high.
Yikes. 75, John Lennon gave what he became his final public performance at a gala salute to British media mogul Lou Gredd at the Grand Ballroom of the Hilton Hotel in New York City. He performed 3 songs, Little Richard's Slippin' and Slidin', Benny King's Stand By Me, and closed with his own Imagine. Yeah. Imagine all the people who stay the hell away from the screaming chihuahua. So, also know, like, who is, what's her face?
I forgot her name.
Yeah.
Don't want to know it.
77, Alex Haley, author of Roots, awarded the Pulitzer Prize. Damn right he did. 78, Senate voted to turn Panama Canal over to Panama on December 31st, 1999. That takes a while, from 78 to 99.
Yeah.
So they're taking their sweet time. We also have Major Haddad declared South Lebanon independence. Okay. In 1980, Zimbabwe, formerly Southern Rhodesia, declared independence from the United Kingdom. So it says here, the Republic of Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia, came into being with Canaan Banana, yes, that is his name, Canaan Banana, as the country's first president. The Zimbabwe dollar replaces the Rhodesian dollar as the official currency. So
What if they had to fight for their freedom like we did?
I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, like, there actually was a guy, his last name was Banana. Like, Canaan Banana. That's one hell of a name.
Yeah.
And hold on a second, let's see if I can find it. Meme. There's a meme, there it is. I love this meme right here. So, Canaan Banana. What else do we got here? 1980, the town of Elmore City in Oklahoma held its first dance in the town's history. And I want to image search this as well because there is something to read. Like something legal or whatever. Yeah, here we go. Elmore City, Oklahoma. Dancing was outlawed in this mostly Caucasian community in 1900. The townspeople who came to this decision viewed the display of public dance immoral and provocative. Dance was finally legalized in 1980, and to this day, some people that reside in the town believe it should be outlawed. So they still want to outlaw it.
Lord.
Yeah. So God forbid we enjoy ourselves. Oh. 1981, the longest game of professional baseball, Pawtucket Red Sox tie with the Rochester Red Wings 2-2 in 32 innings.
Wow.
And as we were talking yesterday,
Yeah.
the game resumed on the 23rd of June.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Now, do you want to refresh, so if there's any new viewers watching and everything, they'll understand what we spoke about a little bit yesterday? Give a synopsis.
Well, when they get past the curfew, which they obviously
What's a
did there,
curfew? Like,
there's a time when the game is called, it's too late to keep playing.
Yeah.
So then they'll continue it the next time those two teams play.
Which shall happen to be the 23rd of June in this
which
case.
was the 23rd, and probably in the same stadium, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Generally the next day, but it could be like here, now it was June, so it was the next time they met.
21, 28. So you have 4 and change 7-inning stretches in that game. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going home. I have work tomorrow. 1982, Atlanta Braves won record 11th straight opening game, defeating the Astros. All right. 82 as well, Canada Constitution Act replaced British North America Act. I'd like to know a little bit more about that. If anyone can look that up, let us know in the comments section. So not only you and us, but anyone else who watches this show can see that. 82, Zimbabwean capital Salisbury was renamed Harare. Okay. 1983, the Pulitzer Prize was awarded to Alice Walker for the novel The Color Purple. That's another hell of a good novel there, yeah. Well, it was a novel.
Series. I didn't read it.
It was a novel, but then it was didn't it turn into a mini series or something like that? Yeah.
It's a great series.
85, Wham! Became the first Western pop act to release an album in China.
Oh.
Okay. 86, IBM produced the first megabyte chip. Awesome. 86 as well, a Titan rocket exploded seconds after liftoff from Vandenberg Air Force Base. Ayo's time! 1987, Bob Land won his 6th straight Canada Stag Stream Canoe Race. So, this one, where'd it go? Here we go. Kendusagag Stream Canoe Race. Okay. We also have Gregory Robinson did a 200-mile-per-hour free fall to save unconscious skydiver near Coolidge, Arizona. Whoa. What happened? How was he unconscious? Like,
I don't know.
Like, what?
Blacked out.
But how would you know? Like, you know,
I don't know. Wasn't opening his chute properly. You could see he was limp. I don't know. He identified something and took off like a bullet.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Whoever this other skydiver is owes this guy his life.
Yeah.
Literally. 1987 as well, Mike Schmidt hit his 500th home run versus the Robinson Pirates. And we also
baseman.
Yep. And we also have Pat Knopf, France, set one-leg downhill ski speed record at 115.012 miles per hour. Now, I looked this up, and all I got was like a bunch of more modern pictures and everything. I'm wondering, is this now? What the hell is this? Okay, that's weird. But like
probably has a ski on that baby.
How?
On the bottom, under the wheels.
But then, how do the wheels spin?
Well, I don't know.
Well, hold on a second. Doesn't look like there's a ski to me.
No.
So, just straight up riding a bicycle down, that is crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, like, is it like one-legged downhill ski speed record? Is it like a leg of a journey, or does he actually have one leg? You know, that's what I'm wondering. I'm not seeing any images of a skier with one leg. So does this mean? Why are you in here?
He's a basketball player. Basketball great.
Okay,
but serving.
Okay, but why is a basketball player involved in a ski article that I'm looking up?
I can't ask you.
That's weird. Why is Barbara Streisand in here? What the hell?
Are you sure it's the same article? No. It's got to be underneath it.
Well, this is just an image search.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I just want to know, like, is it a one-legged ski or is this like one?
Usually
one
leg
trip?
means like there may be 3 or 4 different legs
of the trip. Okay, I'm trying to figure that out. Moving on up to 1988, the United States launched Operation Praying Mantis against Iranian naval forces in the largest naval battle since World War II. Yeah. 88 as well, in Israel, John Demenjanjuk was sentenced to death for war crimes committed during World War II, although the verdict was later overturned. Wonder why. 1990, Supreme Court ruled states could make it a crime to possess or look at child... hold on a second. This word, I'm not even going to read this. Even in one's home. I hope so.
Yeah. Like,
make it punishable by death.
It's just out of bounds, period.
It's disgusting. It is absolutely abhorrent. So, 91, but see, at the same time, how are they going to enforce it even in one's home? Are they now going to spy on us? Is that how the camel's nose gets under the tent? So, the path to hell is paved on good intentions. So, Ring and in a lot of other...
They're trying to discourage it. In other words, you could go to jail for possessing it and watching it.
Well, you want to know how to discourage a crime? Kill people who do that crime. That's the ultimate discouragement.
Well, they have to make it a crime first. Now, I don't know what the punishment is. They got of his death.
It should be.
But so you're agreeing with that they need to
Yes.
make it a crime.
Well, yes.
And I do too.
Yes. But at the same time, how are they going to enforce it in your home without becoming spies? So, 91, Congress ended railroad worker one-day strike. Okay, I wonder why the strike happened, over what. So, we at least know how long it lasted this time. We also have John Stockton broke his own NBA season assist record at 1,136.
Yeah, great point guard.
1991 as well. U.S. Census Bureau said it failed to count up to 63 million in 1990 census. How do you misplace 63 million people in a census? That makes no sense. We have the start of South Africa's first Test cricket since 1970. So 1970 to 92, so 22 years, versus W.I. Bridgetown. All right. And Loon is, of course, hitting his head on his, his cricket's padding there. 1994. You know what we need instead of this? We need to get one of those shin guards and put it here.
Shin guard?
No. Like
I thought you were gonna say a pillow.
Oh no, a cricket shin guard, and then you could just like bang your head against that.
And hurt my head. I might as well use the table.
Well, I mean, like at least the prop would fit. So.
But you're gonna give me a pillow. Thanks a lot.
Well, we do have that fart pillow over there.
Something hard.
So.
Really hurt your head.
Well, we can use this battery. Yeah, so, I don't know. What else do we got here? 1992, 1994, Arsenio Hall announced he will end his late-night TV talk show in May of 1994. Arsenio Hall, great actor and everything.
Yeah,
wasn't he in Coming to America?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. He's that tall, skinny, his head looks like a pipe.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, you're right.
Prepare this. 1994, cricketer Brian Leander hit 375 runs on one day for WI versus England to beat Garfield Sobers' world record. So we have a world record thing there. That's awesome.
I'll give him kudos, even though he's playing the wrong
here he
sport.
Is. Yeah. We also have Lebanon dropped relations with Iran. That's not surprising. Iran is a horrible place. STS-59 Endeavour landed approx. What do you mean approx? How do you approximize a landing on a space shuttle? It either is or it isn't. Like, what?
It approximately landed, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. 1995, Houston Post folded after 116 years. I guess that's the newspaper.
Yeah, must
something.
be.
I love how they say that. They folded. That obviously means they quit. But they're a newspaper, so they folded. The play on words.
First time it was ever folded. Yeah.
95, quarterback Joe Montana announced his retirement from football.
He's a great one.
One of the greats, yeah. 96, in Lebanon, at least 106 civilians were killed when the Israel Defense Forces accidentally shelled the UN compound at Qanwa. From the other source, it says the Israeli military committed the Qanwa massacre in a deliberate shelling. See, here we go. Our primary source says accidental. Our secondary source says deliberate. So which one is it? You can't accidentally shell a United Nations facility. That's just not possible. So they deliberately shelled a United Nations compound near the village of Qanwa in southern Lebanon, killing 106 Lebanese civilians whom were taking shelter there and wounding over 100 more. Like what's... Oh yeah, and here's an image. This is a husk. After they shelled it. Why is Israel shelling Lebanon? Because they wanted to...
Was it an ammo depot? Because a lot of times they did it under hospitals and stuff like that.
It was a United Nations compound. True. Nothing to do with it. No, they just want to kill. They want to take over. Look at the Balfour Declaration talking about it. You know what? I'll look it up right here. I'll read this to you. Balfour Declaration. Right here. The Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the First World War, announcing its support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, which was then an Ottoman region with a small minority Jewish population. The Holocaust had nothing to do with Israel being formed. It was just a means to an end to push this. So, but they've been trying to invade.
Well, they've been kicked off their land many years before this article. They were there before the Palestinians.
No, they were in Egypt, and then they left, and then they kicked everybody out of there. Under Moses, for the Promised Land, and then they wanted it back. So the invasion has been wanting to do it since 1917. You know, like, know your history, know the truth. 1999, Wayne Gretzky played his last game in the NHL as his New York Rangers lost 2-1 in the Pittsburgh Penguins
Wait a second. He played for the
to the
LA
Rangers.
Yeah, but he also played in the end of his career for the LA whatever they're called, Kings.
Let's see here. Holy crap! Look at all the articles for this guy. Yeah, I believe you.
So that's
But this, as his, so his, so he was on the Rangers. So he must have played for the Kings before this.
no, he played at the end of the career.
Well, this says his last game in the NHL.
Put up Wayne Gretzky, New York Rangers, L.A. Kings.
Wayne,
When did he play for the L.A. Kings?
let's see here. Wayne Gretzky. Played for Indianapolis Racers, Edmonton Oilers, Los Angeles Kings, St. Louis Blues, and the New York Rangers. I think that's in order.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't the end of his career. Maybe that's the
It's,
mix-up
it's
I
in the
have.
middle.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I thought it was the end of his career, but I don't follow hockey.
you might be right. I'm not
No,
sure.
I'm sure I don't have the order. I know he played for him. I thought it was the end of his career. But anyways, move on.
Yeah. What else do we got here? 2004, Jason Kuna scored a last-minute goal in a 1-0 win against Sunderland. Wow. That's a last-minute goal. Finally,
Yeah.
that's coming in clutch there. 2007, the Supreme Court of the United States upheld the Partial Birth Abortion Ban Act in a 5-4 decision. We also have NBA owners gave approval of a potential Seattle Supersonics relocation to Oklahoma City in a 28-2 vote by the Board of Governors. 2012, the Casora Contemporary Art Museum in Naples began burning artworks after cultural institution budget cuts. Why? Why? You get budget cuts, okay, so put them in storage somewhere. Why are you destroying shit? Why? What the hell? Bro, that's terrible. What else do we got here? 2008, NBA owner, we got that one. 2013, 2 Earth-like planets were discovered orbiting the star Kepler-62. So, that's Earth-like being like about size and mass and shape, but not necessarily being in the Goldilocks zone, the habitable area. But we spoke about one being discovered yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
We also have in 2014, 12 Nepalese climbers were killed by, in an avalanche on Mount Everest.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
We had an avalanche this year.
Yeah. Well, not in Everest, but over
No,
here we had
not-
an
yeah,
avalanche.
here, yeah.
Didn't it kill a girl? A little girl?
Killed 6 people, I think.
Yeah. 2016, Kyle Leonard won his NBA Defensive Player of the Year for the 2nd consecutive year. I never heard of this guy. Kyle Leonard. All right. 2017, Portuguese superstar Cristiano Ronaldo. You should know this guy's name. He's a huge name in sports.
I don't know.
Wow. Became first player to score 100 goals in the Champions League with a hat trick in Real Madrid's 4-2 win over Bayern Munich.
You had a picture of Stevie Ray Vaughan back there. Did you skip an article on him?
Stevie Ray Vaughan, where?
Right
Oh,
there.
right here. It was Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I don't cover it Hall of Fame because this is all
That's
bullshit.
fine. I just saw his picture.
Yeah.
One of the all-time great blues guitarists.
I want his hat.
He was awesome. He's one of the best, if not the best.
All right.
He died in a plane crash.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Was that with what's his face or?
No,
it
this is
couldn't
well
have
after.
been. Yeah, like this is 2015. Yeah, never
Well,
mind.
he was already dead in
Yeah.
2015. Back in the 90s, I think, is when the plane crash
Oh.
was.
Well, no, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
When did he die?
It's going to be in the 90s somewhere in the plane crash.
1990 helicopter crash.
Yeah.
Okay, so he did die in a crash.
Yeah.
I thought he was with what's his face, the Big Bopper and all that
no,
jazz.
much later.
Okay. What else do we got here? 2018, protests began in Managua, Nicaragua over proposed changes to Social Security. Protesters were beaten by suspected pro-government gangs. Oh, yikes. We also have Black Panther. It was the first film shown at a commercial cinema in 35 years in Saudi Arabia as cinemas were reopened. What a terrible way to reopen cinemas. A racial movie, You know that.
Yeah.
Cause, well, Black Panther, it's a superhero movie and everything. What a lot of people don't realize is the Black Panther IP, of the Marvel, comics and everything.
Yeah.
It is formed out of the Black Panther anti-white black supremacist movement. So. 2018 as well, King Mswati III of Swaziland announced that his country's name will change it to Eswatini. Okay?
Swania?
Eswatini?
No, I don't know. I've never heard of it.
I've heard of Swaziland.
Yeah.
So, 2019, Irish journalist Lyra McNee was shot to death covering riots in Derry, Northern Ireland, with dissident Republican group the New IRA claiming responsibility. Set Ireland free! Britain is just tyrannical. It's just, 2019, a redacted version of the Mueller report was released on the United States Congress and the public. That's, I don't like redacted, so.
Well, that means they're trying to protect people. And
yeah, of course. So, 2020, Together at Home, virtual benefit concert for the World Health Organization's Kung Flu Solidarity Response Fund, created by Lady Gaga. 6-hour pre-show streams online, followed by a 2-hour global telecast. Performers included Andra Day, Common, The Killers, Charlie Puth, John Legend, Jennifer Hudson, Annie Lennox, and Zucchero. And I've only heard a few of them.
Now, just jumping back up, the Mueller report, do you know what that was?
It sounds familiar.
That was the whole thing that they tried to convict Trump of something.
Yeah.
They found nothing. It was a big nothing.
Yeah.
He spent millions and millions of dollars, years of his presidency.
Yep.
Probably took a couple years that he was fighting that. He
Yep.
didn't fight it. It was in the news all the time. You know?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah.
2020, French flagship aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle reported over 1,000 cases of Kung Flu, prompting an investigation. More bullshit. 2021, 12-team European Super League was announced to widespread condemnation amongst governments, not involved clubs, press, and fans. Amidst the furor, all 6 EPL clubs withdrew within 3 days. Wow. So that's a big letdown there. 2022, Russia began a new major offensive in Donbass during their invasion of Ukraine, which is still happening.
Donbass,
Yeah. So much for a 2-week, in and outs.
Yeah.
Like minor, military intervention.
I'm surprised someone hasn't eliminated him.
They probably have, and he's probably replaced by a clone or a robot or something. I don't know. We also have South African President Cyril Ramaphosa declared a national state of disaster after floods and mudslides in Durban area resulted in over 400 deaths and destroyed over 4,000 homes. Sorry, that's madness. We also have 2022 U.S. federal judge ruled as unlawful Biden administration's mandate that masks be worn on public transportation. Yeah, you can't mandate this. But once again, that's why I say, companies and corporations and all that stuff, they have to abide by the Constitution and by law. And, well, they don't because they're viewed as citizen entities. So that's how the government can get away with mandating. You can't mandate masks by law, but you can mandate masks by having your people who can control the corporations mandate it to keep. So that's how they circumvent. Well, how about we make it a law, making companies and corporations and all that stuff just as accountable as the government to our legal documents.
Well,
get rid of their citizenship status.
That is a private company,
but they should not have the right to oppress their employees.
Well, that's not oppressing. They're trying to protect them. But
no,
they
that's
have
oppressing.
Right to mandate them to,
It's oppressive.
This is the rules. If you want to work here, this is the rules. Otherwise, get yourself a job somewhere else. And it's just like.
But if everybody's doing that, then what do you do?
It's just like saying, you must wear a suit and tie to work here. If you don't want to do that, go find a job where they don't require
a suit and tie doesn't stifle your breathing.
I understand that. I'm talking about rights of a corporation.
Well, what about rights of human fucking beings?
They have every right in the world to go wherever they want.
But when everybody does these mandates because they're friends with the people in the government who wants to do the sweeping,
the government, and that's what that's saying, is the government can't mandate corporations to do that.
What I'm saying is the government gets the corporations to mandate in their stead, thus circumventing the law and keeping people under the thumb.
That is the downside to it.
That's why it needs to change. We got to stop
But
allowing.
they can't mandate it like he did in an executive order. They found that unconstitutional.
That's what I'm saying.
You just read that.
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying that the government did. Okay. I'm saying that we need to stop allowing these corporations to work on the government's behalf to allow them to circumvent the
Yes,
laws.
you can't work on the government's behalf. That you can't do.
But that's what they do. See? That's the problem. 2023, Fox News settled a lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems for $787.5 million moments before trial, with Fox admitting it had defamed Dominion during U.S. 2020 election by broadcasting conspiracy theories. You know, and Fox News also lobbied and got what they wanted to make it legal for the news to lie on TV. So, you know, let me look this up here. Fox News.
No, I know that case very well.
Yeah. So, 2024 fossil evidence of the largest known snake, 11 to 15 meters long, named Vascuti indictus, 66 million years old, published from a mine in Panihura, Western India. You can't really tell, but that's a big snake right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fossil. So.
Yeah, they need something in it to give you dimensions, to give you size.
You know, I'm going to image search that really quick, just to see if there's anything. Banana for scale, maybe? So,
Doesn't look like it.
Well, this is a Titanoboa over here, eating an alligator.
Yeah.
You
You can see.
yeah.
You can definitely see he's eating something.
That's
Is that an alligator?
Yeah, it's some kind of, looks like an alligator tail, doesn't it? Crocodile something.
Could be something.
It's something big. Titanoboa was huge. So,
obviously.
2024 new report found nearly half of Chinese cities are sinking due to development and extracting too much water. Good. Fuck them. 2024 police were sent in to remove students on campus at Columbia University protesting Israel actions in Gaza, ignites protests across U.S. campuses. Yeah, you know, like as soon as you start protesting or saying anything against Israel, that's when the law comes against you. You can protest and stand up against any people, any country, anything in the world, but as soon as you say anything against Israel, all of a sudden there's a problem.
Well, wait a second. There's a lot more to that than that.
I know there is.
The Jewish students couldn't even get to their classes. They wouldn't allow them. Now you've gone too far.
Yes, but when were they not allowing the Jewish students to their classes? Before or after this? You know, like because somebody escalates and somebody else escalates, and when did that happen? You know, so. And then 2024, United States vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution recognizing Palestine as a state, with the UK and Switzerland abstaining. So here we go again. You know, Palestine was there. They wanted to make a Jewish home in Palestine since 1917. Then they did it using the Holocaust, you know, to be a means to an end. They got their way in 1948, and now Palestine is not even recognized as a state. Do you not see the invasion?
Okay.
You know?
Palestine is adamantly against a two-state system there. Adamantly against.
They were Palestine, a one-state system.
But this is trying to create a two-state system, which they're opposed to.
Well, Palestine was there first.
That's irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant.
So maybe, okay, if you're saying therefore they have the right to have a one state, including Israel, okay, you can have that.
Yes, it's their land.
But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a two-state solution.
I'm talking about the oppression of Palestine, not even recognizing them. They were there. They were a nation. They were recognized. And then Israel happened, and now they're not. I find that weird. So,
but Palestine doesn't want it. They do not want that.
That's their freaking land. You know, I don't know what to say. Like, anyway, it says here, we have some news actually here. So 2026 from the main source. After ongoing ceasefire negotiations with the U.S., Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz again in response to U.S. maintaining port blockades. Well, I'd like to see them enforce that. Good luck.
Well, it's a small body of water there, and they can, again, I can say, can do it easy. We'll see what the outcome is.
Yeah.
It's about the only thing they have left.
Yeah.
Now, we've also locked them out of shipping any oil out of their port there. They're totally locked down.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things on the Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion between two sources. All of this, we went through 30 pages over this past hour and 10 minutes. So please, I implore you, continue your path of self-education. For all of you and all of us, for your dose of past events daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. I'm A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU. Thank you so much for coming in and watching us. And until next time, wherever that is, whenever that is, don't forget to look right and left at